guys. So someone asked what I was doing for my holiday feast this year. Now I will probably turn on the camera and let the whole family say hi and kind of pan across all of our feast, just like I did last year. But that doesn't help you any if it's night of and I post it next day, right? So I just thought I'd go over what I'm going to fix in case you need any ideas. I'm not going to a lot of trouble. I am not going to be cooking all day. Those days are over. So I will probably either the day before or maybe 2 days before make our seitan poultry cutlets, and I did give you the recipe for those, and I will link it up in the cards in case you missed that recipe and you would like to make those, okay? Now, those are actually boiled in veggie broth, and that broth is retained, and then you take out those cutlets and then put them in the air fryer or the oven, and it crisps them up real nice, and then they're the texture where you want to eat them. So that broth, I just take about 2 cups of that broth back out after all that's cooked in there, and I add a little rice flour to it, and I make a gravy, and that gravy is perfect for over the cutlets as well as my mashed potatoes. Now, my mashed potatoes aren't just any mashed potatoes. They are what the Scottish call clapshot, and I did a video of that too, and I'll link that one up there as well. And basically, you take your potatoes and turnips, and you boil them together and mash them together. And the turnips make the potatoes rich and creamy. You don't notice they're in there. You don't taste them. But it's the texture. It makes them rich and creamy without having to add any plant milk or butter. So it's all in that texture, that rich creaminess. So that's the way I make my mashed potatoes, always, always. And like I said, I'll link that video for you so that you can have that. Now, we have some foods that aren't completely compliant on holidays. And that's okay to do once in a while, you know, once a year, twice a year. It's no big deal. And one of the foods that we always have on a holiday is a traditional Pennsylvania food. And when we moved here, I introduced them to my family, and that's of course before we went plant-based. And they love them so much that every holiday they still want them. And I don't see a problem with giving them to my family on holidays. We did have them for Thanksgiving, and we will have them for Yule as well. And it's pierogies. So I always get just the potato and onion pierogies, and there is a little bit of oil in there, but not a lot. And Mary McDougall says if you have to have a food that has oil, just be sure that it's at the bottom of the ingredient list, not at the top. And I generally don't have any problems with foods such as this that have just a little bit of oil towards the bottom of the ingredient list. If I have something towards the top, my skin is just all broke out. So this is, like I said, a traditional food for us now that we live in Pennsylvania, and the family just loves it. And so I won't deny them because my husband has followed me on the plant-based journey. My daughter and my son eat what they want when they're out of the house. And then my older daughter that's coming is vegan, but she's not whole food plant-based. So she doesn't care about eating oil, and she kind of floats back and forth between vegetarian and vegan. Sometimes she even will eat cheese, but she won't have any meat products, actual meat. So, pierogies it is. Now I fix green beans. And the way I cook my green beans that's probably different from a lot of people is that I cook them with onions. And for some reason, those onions just change the flavor of green beans. And everybody loves my green beans. And that's the only thing I do is I add a little bit of garlic powder and I cook them in with onions. And it's like a feast. And then I found this wonderful, and we've had this once before, and the family just really loved it. It's a butternut squash risotto, and it has carrots, onions, parsley, spices. It says in a creamy sauce. And I don't even want to think what that creamy sauce is. Yeah, it is a milk product. So, but the family likes it, and so, like I said, for holidays, I'll scrimp and let them have something like this. For me, to be honest, I'll have the vegetables, I will have the seitan, and I will have the mashed potatoes with the gravy. Then I got these fire roasted vegetables, and these are just made in balsamic vinegar. So these are completely compliant for me. And like I said, this is a small bag, and you know, we've got some good hearty eaters. So a lot of these things, there wouldn't even be enough for me to eat. But if I give enough choices, there's plenty for the family. And then this is something that really surprised me. I didn't think my family would like it, but I had it for Thanksgiving and they just absolutely loved it. And this is sweet potato casserole with pralines. And basically it's got these sugar-coated pecans on top. And it's just really, really good. And like I said, I'm doing a lot of just frozen things that I don't have to worry about because it's going to take me a good long time to make the seitan cutlets. And so I'm not going to spend a long time doing a lot of different foods. And then, you know, when I was growing up, we had so many desserts. And dessert had to be a completely different meal. So we ate our Thanksgiving or our Christmas dinner during noontime. And then in the evening, it was all desserts. Nothing but desserts. And you might pick at a little bit of whatever was still laying around, but it was desserts at night because there were so many of them. We had a really decadent fruit salad that was loaded with whipped cream and nuts. I'm sorry, my dog's kind of whining in the floor. He's old and he has arthritis and he kind of groans when he's in pain. So, poor thing. Do you want to see him? Some people have asked about our Rottweiler, and I haven't featured him in a video before, so I'll turn you around and let you see him. Here you go.
Hey, Rummy. Tell everybody hi. Tell everybody hi. Can you say hi? That's a Rummy dog.
Oh, he's gonna try and stand up now. It is hard for him to get up and down. He's old and he has arthritis. Sorry for that interruption. Anyway, back to what I was saying, the dessert. So we had this really decadent fruit salad with walnuts and coconut and whipped cream. And then we had always a banana pudding that had the vanilla wafers, you know, the old-fashioned, the vanilla wafers in it. And then we would have pecan, pumpkin, and apple pie, always all three, because some people wanted this one and some people wanted that one. There was always some sort of a cake. And then my cousin would always bring a cheesecake, a blueberry cheesecake that she made. And Grandma always made fudge and divinity candy. And it was just dessert galore. So I'm not going to deprive my family of a dessert, even though I'm not going to have a dessert. And if I do have some, it will be a small little bit of the dessert. But I am having one, just one. And it's a peach cobbler cake. And I'm not making it because if I make it, I'm going to want to stick my fingers in it and lick the bowl and all of that. So I've just got this to, I don't know if I defrost it or if I have to heat it up or what I have to do. I think it's just a defrost and serve. So this is all I'm doing. I've got, you know, some frozen stuff to just steam and heat up. I've got a casserole to bake. I will, you know, make my big pot of mashed potatoes and I have to mash those, and I'll do those in the Instant Pot, so that's no biggie. And heat up the pierogies. And, you know, like I said, most of the work will be the day before making that seitan. That takes me a long time to do because that has to boil for an hour. And that's going to be our holiday feast. So if you need any ideas, I got all these really nice vegetables at Aldi, so they didn't cost a lot. I think these were like $2.99 a bag, something like that. And they're in balsamic vinegar, so these are completely compliant. And my wonderful green beans that I cook with onions and garlic, you know, it doesn't get any better than that. So have a happy holiday regardless of what that holiday is that you celebrate. You're all loved here and accepted here. We don't judge. Have a good day, guys.